Charles Barkley, the Hall of Famer, Turner Sports NBA analyst from inside the NBA. Chuck, how are you? How's vacation?
Vacation is lovely, lovely. Golfing and fishing, that's it, brother. I'm doing.
Are you better at golf or fishing?
Oh, I'm a great fisherman. I am. I'm really good. I'm actually in Alabama fishing right now. I'm gonna watch a couple more hockey games, a couple more NBA games, then I'm gonna work on my golf game.
You should host a fishing show.
Dan, people don't like the work. They only do it for money. Stop it. No, why do people always offer me jobs no, Dan, work is very overrated. I'm on vacation for the next 4 months. I'm not going to do anything but drink, play golf, and that's it, and fish. I don't want to do anything else. I'm good.
But that's a show where you don't do anything. You can eat, drink, and fish, and you get paid to do it.
Yeah, but you got cameras around. You can't use profanity. And then then you have to talk to people. Nobody wants to talk to people unless they have to. Come on, man, stop it.
All right, what about this with the boxing one, the janky defense with Steph Curry and Golden State? You got a problem with that?
Have zero problem with it. The objective is to win the game. Have no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah, I think Steph doesn't like it because I've never met somebody who had a boxing one played against him where they go, yeah, I'm fine with it. Like, you hate it because you're taken out of the game.
Well, listen, whatever they were doing was working, to be honest with you, because, that's when they made their run. I mean, they lost a game in the third quarter, but, they only made one basket like the last 5 minutes. So whatever they were doing was working, period.
There's been so much talk, and the NBA is all about what's going to happen next season or in the offseason or in free agency. And we've been dealing with this for
Hey, Dan, stop. Let me tell you something. I am so sick of every jackass, idiot, and fool getting on TV and radio for the last 6 months acting like they know where all these players are going to go. I think all these guys, and I'm saying all of them because I mean all of them, every week a guy says, well, somebody told me that Katie's going to the Knicks, Kyrie's going to the Knicks, Kyrie's going to the Lakers, Kawhi is going to the Clippers. I think all these guys on TV and radio are full of crap. I think they're just throwing stuff out there. Some of them might get it right, but I think they're all making it up. And then they always say, well, I haven't talked to, what's his name, but I talked to somebody at this camp. I think all these guys are just trying to be relevant and just guessing. I don't even think the players know where they're going, to be honest with you.
Well, I also think that reporting now has become I'm hearing, and you can cover your bases. I don't know who your source is, and if you say, hey, that's just what I heard, that's
my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. If you watch TV for the last all season, all these fake guys are saying the exact same thing. My source or what I'm hearing. I think these guys are all full of crap. I don't think these guys know anything. But like I say, I want to make my point, our original point. I don't think these players know where they're going. You know how I know that? Because this is how full of crap these reporters are. Because all these guys are caught between a rock and a hard place. They can't go anywhere by themselves.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem all these guys got. No matter how great, whether you talk about Kawhi, KD, Kyrie, Jimmy Butler, none of these guys can make a move until something happens. So that's why I think all these reporters are full of crap, talking about they know where somebody's going. Because if you go to a team by yourself, your team is not going to be any good. So that's what's going to be very interesting this summer, who makes the first move, who's talking behind the scenes, because you can't go anywhere by yourself or you're going to be making a lot of money on a bad team.
Who is more likely to sign a one-year deal to stay with their same team, Kawhi or Kevin Durant?
Probably Kevin Durant. I'm hoping Kawhi stays in Toronto. It'll be. I think it's great for the league that Toronto's doing well. The Warriors situation is interesting because they can't pay all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't pay Kevin, Clay, and Draymond. I mean, that's just not gonna work. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna sign Durant and Clay or trade Draymond because they can't pay them all. I think that's probably the one thing that I'm pretty sure about, to be honest with you.
Wait, you think that they re-sign Clay, they re-sign Kevin, and then they trade Draymond Green?
Well, I think that's probably the best scenario. You know, the Warriors are in an interesting situation because they don't have to have a good team moving into that new building. And the one sure way to make sure they're good is to re-sign Kevin and Clay. And Draymond, like I say, you can't pay all three of those guys. You can't be paying four players $800 million. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever because that luxury tax would be through the roof. And I know Clay, Draymond, and Kevin all going to want $150 to $200 million.
Yeah.
And you can't pay them all.
Can the NBA continue to do this and have these salaries where you got guys who aren't great and they're going to make $40 to $50 million a year?
Well, you know, Dan, I've been saying that for 5 years. I think the biggest idiots in the world are NBA owners because, you know, since all these guys want to play together now, you know, we don't have any competitive balance. But these owners was making so much money. They signed this deal where we have to pay – the bad teams have to make X amount of millions of dollars. And I was saying, wait a minute. If all these guys want to play together and we don't have any competitive balance, why do I have to pay my crappy team the same amount that the Warriors are paying their players? So that was a great question you asked me. I'm expecting this thing to come crashing down soon, to be honest with you, because I don't understand. If all the stars want to play together and build these super teams, why do I have to pay my crappy team the same amount of money that Clay, Kevin, and all these other great players are making? Why am I got to pay my guys who are bombs that type of money? So your question is 100% correct. I think in the next couple of years, this team is going to come crashing down around us.
He's Charles Barkley, the Hall of Famer, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Do you think the Pelicans have an issue with the Lakers that would prevent them from trading Anthony Davis there?
Well, I think it just depends on they got to make the best deal. If you know those guys are Clutch really wants AD in LA to help LeBron, but it just depends on the trade. The Pelicans got to make the best trade for them. They got to take their ego out of the equation. But listen, the Lakers got to do something to help LeBron. And Anthony Davis is a hell of a player, but I'm not giving Anthony Davis away for trash. That's not going to happen.
But this is what happens when you trade a star player and then you deplete the roster of the team he's going to. Are they going to do a sign-and trade, or, you know, because if you're Boston, do you do a sign-and trade with Kyrie to get something? The Boston Celtics already fleeced the Nets a few years ago with the Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce deal. You know, are these players going to want? They're going to want the max money and then be traded, right? Nobody's going to walk away from $40 or $50 million, are they?
Well, you know, that's the generation we're dealing with now. These guys want their cake and eat it too. You know, and that's probably the worst thing we got going on in the league. The players are running the league now where they get to dictate where they go. And so now it's going to be very interesting how all this stuff go down this summer. It's going to be one of the greatest and craziest off seasons in NBA history. I'm going to sit back with some 1942 tequila on the golf course or fishing and just watch, because this is going to be the craziest summer ever in NBA history.
A little Don Julio? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, a little 1942 Don Julio. You know it. Big, tall, skinny bottle, modeled after my body, man.
Would you want to play for the Knicks or the Lakers if those were the only two options?
That's a great question, Dan. You know, I really like Steve Mills and Scott Perry, but I don't have a lot of faith in Jim Dolan, to be honest with you. You can only go by somebody's track record. You know, the thing with the Lakers are, I never thought I'd mention Knicks and Lakers in the same sentence. I mean, they're both so dysfunctional. Well, let me ask you a question honestly. It depends on who's going with me to the Knicks. You know, I don't think you can just go to the Knicks, but that's what I said earlier in the conversation. You got to get at least two great players if you're going to go to the Knicks. Because if you're KD or Kyrie and you go to the Knicks by yourself, you're not going to be any good. That's the thing I think going to be very interesting this summer. You know, everybody's talking about all these guys. If you don't get two of these guys, you're not going to be any good.
But I'm trying to understand this, though, Charles. If KD and Kyrie are buddies, and, you know, now you have some reports saying that Kyrie is going to go to the Brooklyn Nets, well, does he know then that KD is not going to go to the Knicks, and that's why he's going to the Nets? Or
but see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think all these guys are full of crap out there. These guys are getting on TV and radio every day saying what I'm hearing from my sources, or like they're just making stuff up. Listen, KD or Kyrie, if they don't go together, they're not accomplishing anything. If KD goes to the Knicks or Kyrie goes to the Nets, that's not a better situation than either one of them are in right now. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. That's the thing. Unless some of these players go somewhere together, they pretty much should stay in their own situation where they're better off. I mean, Kyrie's not going to be in a better situation than he is in Boston if he goes to the Nets. And same thing with KD. If he goes to the Knicks, they're not going to be any good unless he gets somebody to go with him.
But do you really think that KD wants to establish his own team, separate from Russell Westbrook, separate from the Golden State legacy, and then really say, hey, I can do this on my own?
Well, listen, I'm going to just tell all these damn idiots something. Hey, I've been a great player by myself. That ain't a lot of fun. You know, when I got traded to Phoenix, and I got Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, Mark West, Ceballos, and Oliver Miller, those guys, it was like I went to heaven. This notion that you're a great player playing by yourself, hey, man, that ain't a lot of fun. So I would caution all these dudes, hey, the grass ain't always greener. When I was in Philadelphia playing by myself, that was not a lot of fun. But that's what I'm saying. Dan, that's what's going to be the most intriguing thing about all this stuff this summer. These guys can't go anywhere by themselves, especially in New York. If you go to New York by yourself and take $200 million and the team is mediocre, you know how the press is going to be to those guys.
Do you think that you were too friendly with Jordan in the NBA Finals when you were in Phoenix? Like your buddies?
Me and Michael, you know what's really interesting about that? I have heard all these fools and jackasses for it's over 30 years now. Me and Michael never even saw each other during the finals. There was reports that we played golf together, which is not true. There's a report that we had dinner every night. That was not true. So the answer to your question is that goes back to these fools I'm listening to today making up stuff. Me and Michael never saw each other during the finals. Dan, it's so funny, man. I just laugh now when I hear my sources are telling me. I mean, I'm watching today. Now Kyrie, Kevin, and Anthony Davis going to play together.
I know, with the Knicks.
I'm like, wait a minute. I think there's a salary cap in basketball, and I don't think the Knicks can get all three of those guys because the Knicks would have to trade everybody on their. Well, listen, not only that, they'd have to trade everybody on to get AD. They'd have to trade everybody on their roster. Throw in Patrick Ewing, John Starks, and Willis Reed. They don't have enough. There's no players on the Knicks roster that I would trade for Anthony Davis. And they're not going to get Kyrie and Kevin Durant. But that's the stuff we have to listen to every day for the next few months. It's crazy.
I know. Hey, enjoy your vacation. We'll try not to bother you. And thanks again. Always good to talk to you.
All right, my brother. I got nothing love for you guys, man. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Charles. That's Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.